What's up, y'all? It's Marcellus Wiley, that dude. Let's talk about what y'all talking about, which is Jalen Hurts, and the disrespect tour continues. Yeah, we all know the beef that spiraled out of control between Cam Newton and Gilly the Kid about Jalen Hurts being a top 10 quarterback, not sparking that one again. But The Athletic has now put out its tiers of quarterback, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and Jalen Hurts is not a tier 1 quarterback. Why is that news? Because that's the first time it's happened to a Super Bowl winning quarterback in the last 7 years. Ouch. So we're going to dive deep into the top quarterbacks and see where Jalen Hurts really belongs, and is he really being disrespected? Crazy conversation here as we get built up for the NFL season. So let's have some fun and take a deep dive into that. Before we do all that, make sure you guys support this channel, like and subscribe to it. Make sure you support the community and the kids by leaving your email at projecttransition.org, or leave a donation, or be like my man Ty Mosley and become a gym member, a giver every month. You get great prizes like this. I send it to your doorstep, and you get the event access, and most importantly, the most impact with the kids. All right, now, Colin Cowherd is going to break this thing down all the way to the last compound. Let's go.
This is where NFL executives and I totally agree. In their tiers, 4 tiers, they have Jalen Hurts, 9th, 10th best quarterback. And fans view quarterbacks through the lens of, hey, they win. Well, Trent Dilfer and Nick Foles have Super Bowl rings, and Dan Marino doesn't. Matt Hasselbeck doesn't. Matt Hasselbeck is better than Nick Foles by a lot, and Trent Dilfer.
Okay, let's start right there, because that lets you know how crazy and how off the argument was, really the comeback from Gilly the Kid. Let me not even go with Cam Newton, saying that he's not a top 10 quarterback, where this is going to be a summation of GMs, assistant GMs, evaluators, coaches, etc. They use 50 or so different people, different levels to evaluate these quarterbacks to come up with this. This is not the Bible. This is just another guardrail, another guideline to let you know this is what people are thinking, right? You can think outside the box you want, but if you think outside the box, why are you getting attacked? So Cam Newton saying that Jalen Hurts is not top 10. Right here, they're saying he is 10 or maybe at best 9. But then if you look behind him, Baker Mayfield, Dak Prescott, are you saying Jalen Hurts is better than them? Most people would say, yeah. Baker Mayfield obviously has a stronger argument, but neither one of those guys have Super Bowls. Neither one of those guys have been in that position. So I get where you're coming from. But let's not act like it's absurd, Gilly the Kid and others. I'm using you just because you're the face of it, or as Cam would say, the mascot of it. But the point is, it's not crazy. So that's just some crazy barbershop talk there. Keep it going.
So GMs are asked to contextualize it. And if it was just about winning for a quarterback, then how did Patrick Mahomes get drafted in the first round, and how did Josh Allen? I watched Josh Allen play 2 good teams in college, Iowa and Oregon. He got crushed by both.
That part.
Fans view quarterback, it's all about winning.
Yep, and let me just throw myself in there. I sucked in college compared to like how I even started in the pros. I was better in the pros than I was in college. Real talk. Had like 3 sacks, I think my junior or senior year. One of the two. 3 sacks. Come on, man. Come on.
You have, you're asked. I mean, a great stockbroker tells you to buy a stock before it's $140. He tells you to buy it when it's 13. Anybody can buy a stock. Anybody can buy NVIDIA now for the next 10 years, or Amazon, and say, hey, I know my stuff. Did you buy NVIDIA at 9?
That
26?
That part.
7 years ago? So Matt Stafford played in the NFL for 12 years and did not win a playoff game. He's a tier 1 quarterback, and he was Sean McVay's #1 target.
Now, that Super Bowl certainly helps. I'm glad Matt Stafford came out here to L.A. I'm glad Andrew Whitworth came out here to L.A. to get their proper due. Being in Cincinnati, being in Detroit, hate to say it, a lot of that shine was not being seen by the world. That Super Bowl championship does wonders.
So this is not a knock on Jalen Hurts. He's not as tall as you'd like. He's about the same size or shorter than Brock Purdy, and Brock Purdy last week went on a podcast and said, 40% of the time, I can't see who I'm throwing to. Tua has said publicly, yeah, a lot of times I let go of the ball, I can't see the receiver. So, and the other thing is, and this is just so obvious, the Eagles had a bye week. Remember when Tom Brady went to Bruce Arians, they were 7-5, and they had a bye week. You can break down your offense in that bye week and kind of make a major, it's hard to get off the treadmill week to week to week. But when you get that bye week and you get 3 or 4 extra practices, Tom Brady goes to Bruce Arians and says, we're going to change up the offense. Last year in the bye week, the people who know him best said, you know, we'd be better off throwing less.
Y'all hear that? See, this is the thing on this show. When y'all watch everybody else out there that is doing this, and we know how the media rolls. Sometimes the people that put on I call it makeup media, right? When we got to put on a makeup. I don't mean just physically, but the way that they talk. Like they just glossy or they just do like this. What is everyone feeling? Okay, let me just support that, right? The panderers. Whatever that is, no issue with me, but I want you to come back here because I'm going to see what they're saying and I'm going to see what the other side is saying and I'm actually going to balance that out. This is the thing, what you do in the NFL locker room, in the NFL building. Become a gym member with Project Transition. As a giver every month, small gifts have a big impact in creating real change. Not only will you transform lives, you'll also win and unlock once-in-a-lifetime experiences. Join me, Marcellus Wiley, in making a real impact through Project Transition, a global giving community dedicated to uplifting underserved youth with mentorship, education, and access to real opportunities. Your donation doesn't just enter you to win unforgettable prizes and exclusive experiences with myself and other gym members. It fuels our mission to empower the next generation of leaders, dreamers, and game changers. From after-school programs, life skills camps, and career development, every dollar helps unlock potential where it's needed most and where every person makes a world of difference. Give back, win big, be the difference, be greater than your greatest excuse. Support Project Transition today. Become a gym member and help turn obstacles into opportunities. They break you down. I don't understand. I just did a video on Shador. Yeah, people don't understand. They break you down in the NFL. I don't care if you're Shador. I don't care if you're Jalen Hurts, whoever. They told Jalen Hurts after appearing in the Super Bowl and still going on a good run last year, hey, we'll be better if you didn't take the keys. We give them to Saquon. Come on now. That ain't no thing. And then maybe next year they go to Saquon and say, come on, give me those keys back. Jalen Hurts needs them now. The point is we all get broken down. One of the craziest stories I had was when I was in the NFL second year, Peyton Manning's first year. And I remember how much hype Peyton Manning got. And I was like, oh, he's going to be a beast. And then look, he's a rookie, but still. And then I remember seeing the scouting report on him. And it was just so many pros. And then they said, flip the page over. There were so many cons. I was like, Peyton Manning, that many cons? And they had it for everybody. So it just really stuck out when it was Peyton Manning because of all that hype. Point is, they're going to break you down. Right? Tom Brady got broke down. Do y'all want to hear some Eric Mangini stories about young Tom Brady? Please Google that. I know all of them because I used to work with him. Plus, I've talked to him 1,000 times about it. They used to place bets on Tom Brady and how many times he would miss. How many times he would miss in practice? They're like, oh, I guarantee you, he won't even complete 50%. Bets. Real talk. Tom Brady. You know how many times they had to break down a Steve Young and he's sitting there waiting for Joe Montana, who was the GOAT before Tom Brady. But the point is, guys get broken down. Troy Aikman, rookie year. They went one game, they was destroying the dude. You get broken down to see how you build yourself up. So Jalen Hurts, being the consummate pro he is, didn't even take it any other way. It wasn't a slight to him. It's just amazing how it's a slight to his fan base.
That's a tell. So some quarterbacks in this league are Taylor Swift. They're leading the entire tour. Most quarterbacks in this league are the Spice Girls. They're part of an ensemble. Jalen is part of an ensemble. Of the 50 voters, 50 in the Mike Sando survey, of the 50, 3 had Jalen Hurts as a tier 1 quarterback. Okay. It'd be different if it was like 23, and then we could argue. But
see, so tier 1 really means you put any of these guys anywhere, and that team, he got the keys, no doubt. Tier 2 is like, yeah, you can do that, but make sure you got something else going on. Defense, a little bit. Running game, somewhat. Like something else going on. Now, it's a wide range in that tier 2. Look how wide it is, and we're going to break that down in a sec. But point being, tier 1, we don't need nothing else. Just give me that guy. That's what they're saying.
He was much closer to 7th-rounder Brock Purdy than Mahomes, Burrow, and Josh Allen or Lamar. And that's exactly right.
Damn. Y'all hear the end? Basically, they're saying that he was closer to Brock Purdy in the evaluation than he was to Lamar Jackson or Matthew Stafford. Once again, I don't think Jalen Hurts takes any slight to this. That's why he doesn't even say anything. But his fan base will. Okay, so let's leave it like this because I like that. Actually, look at this. Goodness, golly. Okay, so Patrick Mahomes is number 1. I know that a lot of people are like, dog, for real still? I mean, he's still Patrick Mahomes, but at the same time, you can feel like the arrow is pointing sideways, if not slightly down. because it's a tie for one. It's not one by itself. And Joe Burrow right there, so you could say the arrow's pointing up. Josh Allen just always hovering like it's me, baby. Don't trip. Lamar Jackson and then Matthew Stafford right here. Can't argue. And everyone I know, and including myself, he's the best thrower of the football. This guy right here, Matthew Stafford. That doesn't mean you're the best quarterback, but it means, dog, if we had a combine, this guy's still winning. Matthew Stafford's insane. Been hearing that for a decade or so. Then you get to tier 2 where you got Jaden Daniels leading that pack. That was fast. Justin Herbert. This lets you know how talented this dude is. Even when they tried to go to the run game more than the passing game last year, he's still number 7. It's insane. And, the horrible playoff game, and it doesn't go deep into the playoffs. People like, yeah, okay. I know y'all getting tired of seeing this without me. Here I am. Okay, so then we got Jared Goff. What you gonna say about last year and what you thinking? This is interesting. I didn't think Stroud would beat Hurts. I didn't think that because he had his struggles, but I think a lot of times they were saying the struggles weren't all him. Some sophomore slump, but some not him, and he played himself out of it. Hurts right there. Okay, Baker Mayfield had an insane year, but now you're starting to get into there's some limitations to this guy. You just think of Baker Mayfield and you're like, why is he only 11? Oh, because there's something missing, right? And it's not a slight. It's just you ain't got what these guys got, right? So then it's Dak Prescott where all of a sudden we could do the whole show on that. I know where y'all going with that. Then Jordan Love and then Brock Purdy, okay? And people do not like Dak Prescott for whatever reason. I don't know. It's just because he's too professional. He doesn't go deep in the playoffs, whatever it is. He needs to get to the Super Bowl to shut y'all up. I get it. But I'm not the type of evaluator that looks at team success and then puts it on you. I think that is just pure ignorance, like the dumbest ever, right? Oh, what's the network doing? Well, what am I doing at the network? It's kind of like what I look at. What am I doing to be a great player? Not necessarily how great the team is always. But quarterbacks get judged on winning. I get y'all. Okay, so now let's have a little fun. Jalen Hurts got slighted, right? Did he? If you're breaking down these quarterbacks, who would you take and put Jalen Hurts in front of and take behind him? Let's go. One more time. Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts. Okay. Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts. Okay. Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts. Okay. Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts. Okay. Matthew Stafford, Jalen Hurts. Okay. So far, I haven't heard one of you guys trade anybody. Jaden Daniels or Jalen Hurts. Okay. Justin Herbert or Jalen Hurts. Did I hear something? Y'all said something? Oh, my God. Okay. Jared Goff or Jalen Hurts? I'm starting to hear y'all. Y'all getting louder because they're getting closer. Stroud or Hurts? Y'all ain't saying nothing. Y'all got quiet again. So it's Goff. Goff is the one, huh? What about Baker Mayfield? Am I projecting? Baker Mayfield, right? So easily. All right, let's go here. Would you take Brock Purdy over Jalen Hurts? Nah. Jordan Love over Jalen Hurts? I hear y'all. Y'all saying, yeah, buddy. What about Dak? Y'all just don't like him. If y'all liked him, y'all would. But no, I don't know. Okay. So Baker Mayfield? Not really. Okay, so Jordan Love goes that way, and then Jared Goff goes that way. He's still right there, 9 for 10th. Okay. So why we have Gilly losing his damn mind over that? It's so crazy. Well, his name is The Kid, so I get where you're coming from. Gilly The Kid. Okay, so beat it up in the comments. Let me know what you guys thought about that. I'm not going to go into the whole Spice Girls and stuff. I know that was funny. That was really good. But he's right. Most quarterbacks can't do it by themselves. Come on, man. You know how hard it is to be a quarterback? You got to know what you got to do. You got to know what everyone on the O-line has to do in protection. You got to know what all the receivers are doing in routes and different coverages. They're going to run different routes. Then you got to know what the defense is doing in the disguise before even the play starts. And then after the play starts, you got to know what they really are showing. And then you got to be able to do all that in 2.5 seconds. God dang it. And then do it again. Rinse and repeat 80 times. Oh, that's why they get paid the big bucks. So now, speaking of bucks, you know what we do on this show, boy. We flow, boy. But before we flow, boy, we check in on your dough, boy. Monitor Debt Resolution. That's my team right there for your financial wellness solution. Any of you guys in debt? For real debt, personal debt, student loan debt, credit card debt, right? Any kind of debt, medical debt. Oh, I got to go see Jalen Hurts from Philadelphia, but man, that cost a little brick. Debt, whatever debt that is, make sure you call my team right there. Debt. No matter what debt you got to make sure you hit up my team. Monitor debt resolution. Call this number right here, 866-204-0071. That's 866-204-0071. Yeah, buddy. Now, you know what we do on this show, boy. We blow, boy. Hey, where you from, homie? Hey, Wiley, check this out. West of Philly, near. Oh, you gonna bang on me like that? No, I ain't even tripping, homie. I'm just letting you know your flows is pretty tight, okay? Man, nobody care where they ranking you, man. You should be thanking you. I know. That's how I feel about my flows. Everybody say my flows are top dog. I don't agree, but the flows do. Let's go get that thing. Yo, Cam said Hurts ain't tier 1. Here come Gilly with smoke. Jumping out the window, but he jumping out with them jokes. Man, you tripping like Cam stole that lunch tray. You got more bark than bite. Yorkie on Monday. Cam speak facts. Gilly caught felony. But when Coward dropped the same take, dead silence. Melody. No tweets, no heat, no rants, no shade. Guess a white man said, and y'all just sip lemonade. Haha. Gilly the kid, yeah, I'm stressing the kid. Throwing tantrums for Cam, but for Colin, you hid. Fans be weird, picking sides like a draft. You gon' clap back, at least keep it half and half. Cam Newton MVP, rock the dab. Oh man, what happened? Now you want to stab? Nah, look at this, man. Put some respect on his name. But silence for Colin? What a shame. Acting grown like what the white man speak. You meek, you out on Friday, but now at church you on week. Laughing this wild double standard in the biz. I guess that's why they call you Gilly the Kid. No cap, you move funny. Y'all choose who could cook. Same words, different mouths, whole different look. Next time y'all cry, at least the energy slid. Tell me when you gonna act like that, man. Come on, kid. Man, what y'all doing? Y'all trying to come at Jalen? Man, he ain't even tripping. He just out there sailing, just smooth on the water. Ain't tripping on y'all no harder. I don't understand why y'all coming at him. Y'all should know who the father of the game is. It's who the one out there handling they damn biz. So if you got a Super Bowl ring, you ain't gotta say nothing. You ain't even gotta sing. You ain't gotta rap. You ain't gotta clap back. You ain't gotta do nothing but just chill with your wife and take a nap and just chill. But everybody else gonna pay your bill because everybody else ain't got your level of skill. Will you not even know how we gonna go? Man, he is the one, he is knowing that. He gonna have to come through and boom back. And y'all gonna have to step back. Wow. All dome. People understand when I'm at home. Doing all this shit is all on. This is Marcellus Wiley with an urgent message for anyone struggling with over $10,000 in credit card debt. Here's what you need to do right now. Visit pt.monitordebt.com. They've helped thousands reduce what they owe by dealing directly with creditors, cutting balances by 30, 40, even 50%. This isn't a loan. This is a proven debt settlement program where you make affordable monthly deposits while they do the heavy lifting. Many clients become debt-free in 24 to 48 months. Don't wait another day drowning in interest. Call 866-204-0071 or visit pt.monitordebt.com. Your financial freedom is waiting. It's just one phone call away. It's been a decade plus that I knew that this day was going to come.
Oh, this is not hyperbole here.
Because I think the verse.
Time to hydrate. Hydration's the situation, so